Today's podcast is brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. If your property gets damaged by a storm, it's nice to know there's a Kentucky Farm Bureau insurance agent in your hometown who's committed to making things right. Rain or shine, you can count on the great coverage and personal service you expect from Kentucky's insurance company. To request a free quote, find your local KFB insurance agent at mykfbagent.com. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Matt, I'm changing things up today.
Oh, what are we doing?
The guest is in the opening.
Oh, wait, he's right here.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey.
Why is he in the opening? Because I am being an irrational patriot, and I feel like he shares the passion of the situation because we're talking World Baseball Classic.
World Baseball Classic.
I got some issues. America's just playing America.
I
don't understand.
It's an inside job. It's an inside job.
It's super fun, and then you dig in, and you're like, or you see a guy, and you go, oh, that guy plays for the Orioles.
Which
and
is
then
fine.
you look it up.
Which is fine.
Cool.
We're cool. Major League Baseball won
it's
them all.
international, whatever. And then you're like, I didn't know that guy was British. And then you look up and you're like, he's not even British.
Dude's from Virginia. When AI on the top of my Google has to tell me on your paternal grandparents' side how many greats ahead moved here from Italy,
Counts.
It's sickening.
I'm not happy.
They do in the Olympics a little bit. There's a little bit of that in Olympics,
We have
but
talked
not
about this.
quite this bad.
Do you ever notice no one cares until they're good? Like, you can be a terrible
100%.
athlete in the U.S. and we're like, good for you, man. Go get 7th for Sweden.
Yeah.
The second you become a gold medalist,
You're like, why aren't you doing it for America?
Yeah.
where's your American heritage?
I mean, they jump down their throat. It's 23andMe. I think that's where it starts. People get too curious, and now the Olympics are, I'm not going to say fraudulent, but
Yeah.
there's some questionable
But we
deals.
did not say it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I my 12th cousin on my mother's side was Indian, so I'm on the Indian National World Baseball Classic.
Now, I'll give
team.
this. The Dominicans and the Japanese,
That's straight up.
they're full-blooded.
Yeah.
They are from there, and I
they're
would be
good.
nervous for an American to be like, I'd like to be on the Dominican team. They'd be like, no, sir.
No, sir, we're good.
You
we
would be
got
turned
guys.
down.
They
We got
would say,
guys.
you can go back to your
We're good at
country.
this. Yeah. It's super fun. It's really neat to watch, especially those particular two countries. I wouldn't want to play there. Like the
Absolutely
home,
not.
the atmosphere in those places is insane. But yeah, it is. It's just America against America over and over again. This Italy team, it's great. It's like a great story. You're like, this is cute. Look how they beat us. And then you look, you're like, wait.
I'd be okay if it was like the FIBA World Games for basketball. Because we are very clearly the best. In baseball, we're not. And I don't like that, so I get Renee's side there. But
Yep. But we are. We're just kidding.
And then here's my problem.
It's diluted.
I was ready to not be the best, and then I'm coming off my Olympic high.
Yeah.
And I was about to take a dip
You got
back
your
to
flag
normalcy.
wrapped around you. You're ready.
I was starting to get a little more politically correct again. I was stopping to being mad at the countries from like World War II. I don't know why, but Olympics happened, and I'm like, still mad about it. You were on the wrong side. I was starting to get off of that. And then
Now you're back.
this World Baseball Classic, they said, this is the greatest pitching lineup we've ever had. And my boy Paul Skeens does some
gonna
very
say.
patriotic things.
Yeah.
I mean, they paid for the Air Force baseball team to be at the game in Houston. All these things happen, and then I find out another LSU pitcher is playing for Italy, and he's from Louisiana. I lost my cool last night.
It hurts to see. I mean, it has to. As an LSU fan, diehard, watching one of your guys come in, and I'm not going to say he pitched great, but he pitched good enough.
Nobody pitches great when Paul pitches the same week.
No.
He's great.
That's a whole different person. I've never seen this.
It is good baseball, though. You were like telling us stats before we started.
Yeah, the home run trots for the Dominican team. It's electric. Everyone knows it's electric. They bring the juice. But, I think I was reading that 25 seconds plus on average is the home run trot. They're taking 10 seconds on average to get to first base. You can't do that in the MLB. You definitely can't do it in high school. But something about playing with your country on the chest is electric.
And then it's America's birthday this year. And then I'm getting emails, because I guess my phone can hear me, shocker, that it's coming to L.A. for the summer. And they're like, how interested are you in tickets? And I'm like, buddy, have you caught me at a good time? Because I would pay a lot of dumb money. If we don't beat Canada in baseball, I'm going to lose my mind. And we've already beat them 2 out of 3 right now.
No, that'll hurt the ego a little bit.
Yeah.
I've retweeted a lot of stuff on Twitter about, U.S. over Canada. And
that was fun.
That
was a lot of fun beating them at
Yes.
their thing. If they beat us at our thing, that would. But it's just a bunch of Americans, right? Is it the same thing for Canada?
I don't know. There's a couple of them that sound pretty dang Canadian on the interview. And I was like, going to be a hard sell to pretend he's from Wisconsin. Like, I mean, some of those guys can sort of have the same accent, but he's a pretty good open and A. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's the Italians. I think they have cappuccinos in the dugout or whatever it is, and it's like I'm waiting for Canada to bring out syrup or something like that, and it's like, okay, well,
if
maybe
they dogpile and just dump maple syrup, I'll be like, I'll give you this. That was
kind of cool.
Creative.
That
it's
was
like a
fun.
Nickelodeon slime.
Is Canada's Nickelodeon slime just pure maple syrup?
Pure maple syrup.
And a Mountie drives out and just pours it. Okay, we went back to politically incorrect. We were doing really good. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so you guys are going to be shocked, listeners. Our guest today is Aaron Clark.
Yeah. We are in the Alltech Arena at the horse park, and you are the expert of a big event that's going on here in Fayette County.
I will not take expert. I'll take a lot of different things, but to describe me expert is quite bold.
That's what we're going to put in the little description, expert. And
if you put it in there enough times, it's real.
It's real. You just say it over and over again.
All right, I'm looking at Austin, our tech man that doesn't speak, and we've already made a real cluster out of how this thing is open. So we're supposed to play an opening. So without further ado, I'm Renee Carrico.
And I'm Matt Hilton.
Let's get rural. So, funny story. One day, we're going to do bloopers. And we're just going to do, I don't know how bloopers work. That feels very visual. We're going to do audio bloopers. And you guys are going to hear all the times that Austin has to tell us to quit talking because something really stupidly loud is behind us. This one's top of the list.
Yeah, so you won't hear this, obviously, on the podcast, but we had a machine come in here at the Alltech Arena.
It was wetting down the dirt, and we don't know why, because we don't know when the next show is. But don't worry, there's no dust.
So Austin and I have been here for a minute, and for like a couple hours, all set up, ready to go.
Nothing.
As soon as he hits record, this guy shows up. He's just doing his thing, just doing his thing. But thank you for doing this. I know that you're crazy busy. This is a big event, lots of setup, lots of things going on. But why are we here? Tell us what's going on here in Fayette County.
So I was trying to look up the numbers and the stats before I came up. It's been a busy day, and I've already forgotten them, so bear with me. But this is the Fayette County Farm Bureau Education Foundation Farm Machinery Auction. I believe this is the 43rd, and I had to get assistance there. I'm going to claim it. But it started in a tobacco warehouse in downtown Lexington. As the auction grew, expanded, got better, got bigger. So we've adapted, we've grown. And so it's been, I believe, now in 3 spots here at the horse park. As we've continued to grow, we're now at the arena in the very back. And I want to say on average, we're at 1,400, 1,500 items. It's a completely volunteer ran auction from start to finish. And all the money goes to the Education Foundation, as I said, and helps provide some pretty hefty scholarships to Fayette County students and residents. And I was lucky enough a few years ago to receive it myself, but decided I wanted to farm, so that money got put back in the pot. So I'm here every year, and I'm blessed to be a part of it, but I joke that I've done it twice now. I've put money back in the pot for people.
Yeah, I think the last couple of years we've done some stories on just the grand total of the whole state. It's in $800,000. I mean, like these crazy numbers of all the counties going out and doing their scholarship programs. Some are just 1,000 here, 1,000 there. Some are bigger, and you guys are in a county that can really do something kind of big. So I think it's neat that you have found different unique ways of raising that money. We have a golf classic at the state level, but you guys do it here. So the last couple of years, do you kind of have an idea what's the average you guys are kind of bringing in for the scholarship foundation?
I do. The in general, I want to say we're bringing in like $130,000 to $140,000 annually that goes into the endowment fund.
Wow.
And, obviously, there's a lot more money to the sale, but we've got to get everybody paid, and our commission's capped at a certain point to just, make everybody happy, keep everyone coming. I mean, there was a guy I checked in yesterday that is from Wisconsin. He said he's been here 20 straight years because he has some buddies here locally. And he found out about it, read the flyer, realized what it was for, and makes a point to come every year. He's got his own equipment store in Wisconsin and was like, I try to bring some good stuff down here, stay and see friends, but I know that the cause is great, and I get excited every year to come on down. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So college, I have a daughter going to college. I have a son that would like to, and it just gets more expensive. It's difficult. Getting scholarships is a huge part of an opportunity for a lot of kids. My particular kids are blessed enough that I think that's going to happen regardless. But any chance we can help get people in the college or secondary schools and different things, I think it's really important. So, yeah, this is a neat event. I've actually come to this a couple times for different reasons, for video projects and those kind of things. And I'm always like, wow, this is a lot. There's a lot of stuff.
It's a big undertaking for everybody involved. I mean, we have some students from Locust Trace, which is the VOAG school here in Fayette County. I know that early on it was kind of high tech and sought after, and I think some other counties have maybe passed it by, but it's still really cool, really special to have here. And we're lucky that the teachers and the school support us, and Fayette County School Board supports us. But without the students and the volunteers from the farmers to the folks that work in some of the insurance offices, it's a massive undertaking every year with all the people that show up and want to help. And we've had people that came and brought items and were like, can I come back tomorrow and help? It's a really cool community feel that, it's daunting when you look at it from afar, but the more you get involved and get into it, you get excited every year. And I know it's something I look forward to. So
yeah, for sure. So when I started at Farm Bureau, my husband was always laughing and saying, well, it's a work trip now, right? We can take your work truck and go up there. And which the funny thing is, every time the work truck comes, the work truck ends up hauling something back that my husband bought. But what I like to tell people, and we drove in today, and today's obviously still on the setup side. We're a couple of days before the auction, which is really the only way we could catch you, that you are not going to be busier than you are. What I really like to tell people, whether you are very production farming oriented like we are, we needed equipment. We're looking at the trailers. We're looking at attachments for skid steers. We're looking for a little bit of that heavier equipment, farm equipment. I passed by where I parked, and there is more lawnmowers than I've ever seen in one place that's not a dealer in my life. So if you want a sprayer to attach to your side-by-side. It's wild to me, the amount of things, which makes sense. You're in Lexington, you're in Fayette County. This is not a farm-only auction. So talk through some of that for me. Like, maybe, I know we always talk about the experiences on the ag side, but one of the cool parts about this one to me is we're in an urban area. And so you guys would not be able to do the support you do and get the support in the community if you didn't have some things for those people that don't farm.
A lot of the time, people do have that reaction that, one of the local lawn mowing companies came, and I think they brought 7 gooseneck loads of 0 turns.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, that's a lot to take in, but you really start to think about it and look at what makes Lexington special, what makes Fayette County unique. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of, scoffs at this, but I think the best county in the state, that it's the horses, it's the people, it's all the different businesses in town, it's the folks outside of town, it's the understanding of each other, what everyone's trying to do. And I think as Lexington continues to grow, and although there's some battles being fought there, and, folks are learning and discovering new things about the county they've lived in forever, it's the fact that, yeah, you can come here and you can, it's rare that there's an 8 series and above tractor, but you'll have 7 series, you'll have 6 series, 5 series, you'll have yard tractors. If you've got a 5-acre spot kind of on the edge of town, you'll have all sorts of used 0 turns that maybe were out of your idea range early on when you got your house, but all right, now it's time, it's used, but it's been taken care of by a company that, like I said, there's lawn care companies that just bring in a ton. There's shovels, there's rakes, and I'm in charge of the check-in process, and I'm lucky to have a bunch of people that help and support us there. But there's folks that are like, I didn't know I had 7 shovels. I'm going to bring you 6. And it's like, okay, we'll sell them as one lot. It's a $30 minimum, so please don't forget that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can really run the gamut. There's stuff for everyone. There's stuff from all types of farming operations, big, small, intermediate. I mean, horses, cattle, hogs, sheep. I've seen 3 horse-drawn carriages. I mean, there's cattle trailers. There's a goat and sheep trailer. There's 40-foot goosenecks. I mean, it's being from Fayette County. I grew up in town. I've always been lucky to have a farm outside of town, get to live the best of both worlds is what I joke. But it's special that I get to learn a lot more about what's going on around the county, being here, checking items in, than anything, I'd say. It's learning what the stuff is. And sometimes it's stuff I've never seen before. And part of that's because we've evolved and moved on as a farm.
But somebody might need that. You never know.
Exactly. There's stuff for everybody.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm coming Saturday morning. I've never been to this. What do people expect when they come in? How does it work if I'm wanting to actually buy something or do something? Tell us a little bit about what people would see.
Saturday, come in. It starts at 8:30. There's going to be a ton of people, assuming the weather's good. And even when it's not, we still have a great turnout. And we're lucky that it's been so, efficient and good over the last 40 plus years that people continue to want to be here. But I'd suggest you get here 7:30. You come in the main office, which is on the bottom side of the Alltech Arena, and get your bidder number, get signed up. And then there's 4 trucks going. We have 1 truck that's dedicated to the lawn and garden section, and then that moves into vehicles. And then we have 3 other trucks that are going simultaneously through all the rows, because the beautiful part about starting to take equipment at Monday at noon is we have until Tuesday at noon to get rid of it all in the sale Saturday, and we can't start loading out until about 2 p.m. So it's a little bit longer to come in, but it's vastly different than most auctions. We don't have a month to get stuff in. We have a week to get it pictured, to get it documented, to get it a sale order, get a catalog. It's a lot, but it's hectic sometimes, but I think it's pretty efficient with how much gets brought in, gets taken out, and how it's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for those that were like me, and I didn't go to most of the equipment auctions when I was a kid, that was my dad and my brother kind of went, and I would go to every cattle auction I had a chance at. So when I got here, the idea, and I had been to estate sales probably, but the trucks, just to give people an understanding, they are literally going to have an auctioneer, a girl with a computer, and a guy in the crowd that's kind of helping the auctioneer take bids. And this little trailer kind of truck is rolling down the line of equipment, and it's going one at a time. So they've got 4 of those going at the same time. So my advice to people, or my farm people, is if you're not the lawn and garden section in vehicles, if you are looking at a trailer that's on the farthest lane, but you're also looking at a skid steer attachment on the second one, you probably need to have a buddy with you, because sometimes it helps to be able to track where the trucks are. Equipment gets big. You can't see all the way across. A lot of things are happening. But on the plus side of that, I always say when people get frustrated, they also are thrilled at 2 o'clock when they can actually load something that they already bought and get out of there. You can't have one without the other. So I'm always telling people, if you got your eye on a couple things, bring a buddy and have them kind of set up. You can shoot text over, you can call each other and jump back and forth. But it's the only reason you can get your stuff out and leave same day is because we're running 4 trucks and they're kind of going down that lane. It's a very efficient process if nobody's ever seen it. But if you're not ready, it's a little alarming at first.
We'll get complaints, but we also get people that once they understand what we're trying to do, why we have to do it, they get it.
Yep.
It's like I said, everybody's a volunteer. We're all farmers. We've been feeding all week in the morning and at night. And I get some people who are like, I wake up every day at 6 a.m. Well, some people don't. I'm a little bit later, but I'm still getting up and going. But, we have families, we got farms that we are trying to take care of as well, while also trying to be here to efficiently load you out as long as we can. And I think last year we left here at 9:45 and we had some lights and set up, but it's just being safe, getting everybody in, getting everybody out. And, it can be daunting trying to keep track of items, but that same person will be back the next year and be like, y'all got me loaded out that night. And it's like, that's the goal. Yeah. I don't want to take it anywhere else. So, yeah.
Yeah, we got to get rid of it. So one thing that's, Farm Bureau's really talked a lot about stronger together, united, and all these things. And I think what's neat about this particular event is this is the county Farm Bureau, from agents to volunteer leaders. There's lots of people involved. Talk about that. Pat some people on the back about your group here that really come out and do a lot of effort here.
So you're really trying to hem me in there with patting people on the back because, I'll give a shout out to my dad, Todd. He's just a really tall guy. That's about it. No.
Everybody sees him coming.
Yeah. He's done a good job for me as somebody that's learning how to be a leader, how to just work with people, help people. That everybody's got their unique skill sets and capabilities and understanding. And most of us come from a spot where we are the chief in that situation. So there's a lot of chiefs and there's very few Indians. So it's understanding the responsibilities everybody has, but also just knowing that, well, they're volunteering just like me. I mean, who am I to be upset, cross one way? And so, I mean, from the agents, from our executive assistant Joanna on the Federation side, she does a ton. Our current president Robert James always does the tech side. We've got Graham who's assisting him over the last few years, and we continue to grow in the online presence. We continue to expand, and it wouldn't be without those two. I think Paige Mattingly's been on this podcast not too long ago, and she's been huge and vital in that role of just broadcasting everything we're doing, being good on social. I could sit here and name off 500 people. It feels like we're just lucky that everyone's bought in. They appreciate the cause, they support the cause, they want to be a part of it, and they're not in it for us to give them a pat on the back. It's, I might not see somebody at one of the Federation meetings for a full year, but they're here at the auction, and they're here at the start, and they're here all the way till the end. There's no quit. There's people that are like, I had to run to a meeting today. I knew I could leave because there was plenty of volunteers, plenty of help, and everyone gets it that, like I said, everybody's got something else going on, but makes it a priority to be here and make things happen. I mean, yeah, it's something.
You're in a unique situation, and after this question, I do want to dive into kind of y'all's farming operation and some of that, but you're in a unique situation pretty closely related to some insurance side. Talk to us about how the agents, the agency managers, some of that staff get a chance to help with this, whether that's on site, whether that's putting the flyer in the office. Kind of talk through what their role in this is as well.
So, my mom has been an agency manager. Oh, she'd kill me. 96 or so is when I believe she was starting to grow and climb a little bit. But I've grown up going to the Federation side meetings. I've grown up in her office, going to just all sorts of events, the weekends that they can win for the insurance side, and then, getting to know everybody, going to DC multiple times. I mean, we are a pretty heavy Farm Bureau family. And so that's been interesting growing up. But yeah, it's leaving flyers, like you said, in the office. It's having those agency managers and agents believe in it as well, that they might not come in to help with check-in or check-out, but they're in the office on Saturday. They're doing their part. I don't know how they get phone calls about the auction, but they're taking phone calls at the office. And I think, people see the logo and they just call the closest office, and it's like, what do y'all know? And so I feel like I keep going back to, we're all lucky that everyone buys in. And once again, it's about the community. And there's very few places that I think you feel it so strongly in comparison to what you feel here if you're here all week. And I hope everyone feels that most places, but I get the world's a little bit of a different spot nowadays. So
yeah, I think that, like, when we talk about Farm Bureau, it's community impact and local impact, and this is one of those things where if it's right, you'll get the buy-in it's as high when you know that money, just like the guy you said brings all his stuff from Wisconsin because he knows that little cut. Yeah, sure, I'd rather have that maybe. Yeah. But he also is like, I know that's actually doing something, and you guys are actually giving
yeah.
a scholarship, and because there's always a little of that with stuff sometimes when you give money to charities or anything like that, or some kind of like, all right, I hope this is really going where I want. But I think that's what you all have done a good job of making sure people understand. It is really being part of that.
There's 2 folks that check in right now that are recipients of the scholarship, and they started coming in high school. And sure, maybe part of it at that point was like, well, I need to meet people for the scholarship, but they're back and they've been here multiple days while dealing with classes now at UK. And to me, that's really cool and really special that there's a lot of folks around that have received the scholarship and still want to be involved, still want to help. And it's not, I wouldn't blame them. Okay, well, I got the scholarship. I came to a few meetings. I showed you all. I'm appreciative, but I'm moving on. No, some of the folks, want to be here and want to give it right back. So it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So we first met when I was interning at Farm Bureau, and you were at Eiffel. So we go a pretty good ways back. He was the first one. I don't know if I ever told you this, that I was in college and I walked into the AGR house to pick up my then boyfriend, now husband. And one of the Eiffel kids is in the house. And I was like, oh my God, like they're not babies anymore. They're in college. Like this is very awkward for me.
I watched Renee have a heart attack just sitting there. I
just was like, why is he here? And Peyton was like, he's a new guy. Like he was so confused. Like, do you not like him? And I'm like, I'm so confused. So we've had a whole moment where I had to realize you grew up. You've been on a beef tour too. And so we've done a lot of Farm Bureau things. But what I really want you to let people know is talk about the farming operation. Talk about I think in the Farm Bureau world, a lot of people do know your mom, and for good reason, not just because she's been there a long time, but she does a really good job in her agency, and she's done a good job in this county working with the Federation. Some may know your dad from the Farm Credit Board, but let's talk the operation itself. What are you guys doing on the farm, and what's kind of your day-to-day?
So the farm's changed, just as many in the state have, but early on, before I was, on the farm, it was primarily Burley, as a lot of folks were. Not delusional on how we've ended up where we're at, but, Burley was a huge part of the operation. I think Dad might have raised at one point 80-ish acres at his largest, and was doing some hay around here. And we're lucky, once again, to be in horse country, that a lot of the horse farms, instead of batwinging it, they'll have you cut it and bale it, and they'll take some of the bales, you take some of the bales. There's a lot of opportunities. And then after the buyout settlement, kind of realized that we need to expand, we need to switch things up a little bit, keep evolving. So we went to pasture poultry and got into Marksberry Farm Market, and which is a local processor. And so we were doing about 20,000 broilers on pasture a summer. We would get them at a day old, put them in the brooder, and I'm not a fan of chickens. I've dealt with enough at this point. I know a lot of chicken guys in the state at this point, but yeah, I'm out on it. But we would do some turkeys as well. But at this point, I started being on the farm, I guess, full time 8 or 9 years ago. And we're beef cattle, do some custom hay, and that's pretty much taken up our time. We're lucky to have opportunities to farm in 5 different counties, which is a lot of driving. But when it comes to the cattle, we are grass finishing beef, taking them, which is very, very different, but to about 1,250-ish pounds is our slaughter weight. And that's no remensin, that's no feeding, that's pure grass, good haylage, and some just dry hay as well. It's pretty bare bones in terms of the cattle overall, but a lot of people will think, well, you don't go out there. It's like, no, in the summer they're intensively rotated. One of my dad's biggest favorite places is New Zealand. He was just there, but we'll rotate a group every day, every other day when the grass is growing to keep it fresh, keep it moving, keep the energy up. And so, yeah, it's a lot different than what folks may think we're doing. I think some folks believe that we just turn them into a field and say, all right, have fun for the next month and a half, but it's a lot different than that. And then just like I said, with the hay opportunities around here, it's horse country. If you got good grass hay that you've done right, the small squares, the big rolls, they all play a part. So that's pretty much what we're doing now. And as Renee said, Dad's on the Farm Credit Board, so I guess I'm doing a little bit more than I did a few years ago. That's taken up a fair amount of time, and we're lucky that he's had that opportunity, and it's kind of pushed me to grow a little bit more. I don't know if when it first started, if I was expecting it or ready, but I think it's been good for me. So
Yeah.
I won't tell him that to his face. But I think it's,
No, we'll never have him listen to this. No, but what I think is cool is, and I'll agree with you completely on grass finished. I think people either assume that you have the squattiest cattle on earth, or they assume you just kick them out in a grass field, and they're just like, oh, it's just like those horse pastures I pass on the way in. They must just stay out there forever. The idea, like for any of my guys in the state that rotationally graze, there is this next step called mob grazing, and that's moving them, or intensively rotational grazing, however you want to say it. But we're talking about some really heavy impact on forages. How do you make sure that you've got a clover mix in the right fields? And some of these horse hays are very, very specific on things they don't want in their hay. So y'all are probably putting your cattle on grass that that the horse hay can't come off of. So I mean, it's very specific. But moving the cattle once a day, moving them twice a day in the right times of the year, that's the only way a grass finished guy can really get the gains they need, because you're not supplementing with feed. So it is very, very challenging, but you guys are in a really cool spot to be able to sell product and to handle that. And so that part's ideal. But the other funny thing I always want to get you to mention is how far spread out the farm is. I think people see big pastures when they come into Fayette County, and they're like, oh, what a blessing. I bet Aaron got to just jump on a farm that's all in one big block.
I live out past Hamburg, just a little bit in Lexington. I think most folks that have been to Lexington kind of have an idea where Hamburg is, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But our furthest farm is close to downtown Frankfort. So if I leave my house to go to the other farm, it's about 40 minutes, and that's, pretty much on the interstate. But that's what it takes to do what we're doing. We're lucky to have great pastures. We've worked on them some. And that comes with the grazing and just treating it right, knowing what's in there, soil testing, drilling if we need to. But yeah, we are lucky to have them, but that's not without the work. That's not without some of the equip projects we've done. I'm working on one right now that's a fair amount of money to put into it, but it's exciting. It's getting the water tanks right. It's getting the electric fences up. We're pretty heavy into electric fences, so understanding that, having the cables ran, it all is easy, I guess, if you drive by, but there is a lot that goes into it. We're trying to think ahead. If it's been droughty like we've been accustomed to lately, there's a lot going on in our minds as to, are we going to be able to take these all the way? And that there are times, rarely, where I'm jealous of, well, I wish I could just feed them a little bit and help them out. But
especially when feed cost is low right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Lexington in itself has, I guess, aggressively pursued just local food. And I think that's a cool thing that's going on here. I don't think everyone's as lucky, trying to do something farm to table in some of the surrounding counties. But, if I have a beef that doesn't end up going to Marksbury, it'll go in my freezer and I can, make something happen there. And we also, I failed to mention, our beef, we're audited every 15 months through the GAP program. And so our animals end up at Whole Foods in not only Kentucky, but I believe it's 4 or 5 other states. So we're looked at, and we've got the records, and I promise you, like I said, there's a lot to it. But if you have simple records and you know what you're doing, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, busy. That's what I heard. I've heard busy. And farmers always are busy. How's it feel Saturday afternoon when you turn the page on this
maybe
guy?
It's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. When it feels over, is it over? You just getting ready for the next? How's that work? And but it has to be satisfying too, right?
In terms of the auction, or in terms of so, Dad and I both feel that to say we're busy, everyone's busy. So I I'll come up with excuses just as good as anybody else, but I try not to. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got stuff going on that you don't know about. So it's, Saturday night comes around. We've been loading some items, and like I said, we'll stay as late as we can because people will wait because they've driven 3 hours that morning. Right. We feel like we owe it to them to get them loaded, to get them out of here so they can go home and not have to deal with coming back. And then they're a little bit grumpy, and it's this huge deal. But I think, full transparency, our farm's a mile from here. So anything that's left after Tuesday ends up at our farm. So there's really no let up of the auction until all that stuff's gone. We started online during COVID, and that was the year that somebody in Malaysia bought a backhoe and sent a crate and somebody to disassemble the backhoe at our farm, put it in a crate and ship it. But that took 2 months. So realistically, it's never ending, but it's just like everything else that we've got going on. It's something to remember, keep in the back of your mind, but I'd say probably, Monday, probably 92% of the lot's empty, and it's just that remaining few items that we got to deal with. But I've been around long enough that it all comes and goes. It'll all have a home. It's okay. Our main thing is keeping the horse park happy so we can continue to have this big of a lot. We couldn't do it without the space that we have here. There's very, very few options around. And like I was saying, grass is taught in my crop at the farm. We don't have any other crops. So no, we're not going to do it in the field at our farm.
Right.
We're not, so it's something, but relaxation, it's all in the eyes of the beholder, I guess.
Well, it is a very, very cool event. This will obviously air after the event happens, but it's so funny. I used to be very skeptical of us doing that. So I'm like, man, I want to really get people to the event. But it's been so interesting to me 2 and 3 months later, podcasts, people listen to things, at different times. They're finally taking that trip to Florida with the family and everybody falls asleep. And that's when they start listening to months back. And it has been interesting hearing people in a July timeframe that's like, man, I've already set my calendar for this coming January. I'm going to that conference you said about on your podcast. So I do hope people hear this and get intrigued and see the fun in it and understand the impact that it is making. They all laugh at me in Louisville because I don't understand the school system because I'm from a town, and then I now live in a town that has one school system, and it's just very easy there. So, but the more I learn about Louisville, the more I learn about Fayette County, the amount of kids y'all are able to impact, the amount of this community you're getting to meet that are remembering the logo for more than just an insurance office, seeing the collaboration. It's just huge. I think there's a piece of that in 43 years. Every generation's probably had that moment where they wake up on that Monday morning and they're like, my gosh, what did we just do? That was awesome, Yeah.
It's really cool to get to see that, Locust Trace, sometimes it's a full day school or a half day school. So sometimes there's students that have never seen some of this equipment and they've passed by it. And they're like, well, what is that? So then we get into a conversation about that. And for me, it's rewarding that growing up, as I said, I lived in downtown Lexington. I did come to the farm, but I didn't grow up on a farm. I've had all sorts of opportunities. I wasn't pushed either way. I played baseball. I played football. I would go and do stuff in the summer, and then Dad would be like, well, if you do want to make some money, just come out here. It wasn't great money, as we all know, but stack some hay. All right, man. But yeah, just getting to see the smile on kids' faces that, these big loads piled high of stuff, they're coming up and they just want to put the tag on it, mark it, talk to people. And I think it's also cool and something that not everybody thinks about, that a lot of the folks that come in and bring stuff to consign, they see that these kids are students. I'm 28, so that feels weird to say that I was that student at one point. But it's just cool to recognize that, okay, they realize what's happening too, and they slow down, start to answer some questions, not in the, well, that guy over there doesn't know, and it's like, no, they're trying to teach them a little bit too, and that's pretty cool to me. That, once again, back to the buy-in of everything, and the school systems is. I know there's kids in Lexington that have never seen a tractor. They don't have an idea. And I get that. And I get that probably for folks across the state, that could be crazy to consider and think about. But I feel like we're building a new school in Fayette County every year. It continues to expand. I was in Springfield for college at one point in time, and that school ran out of money, but it's all good. But going from downtown Lexington, living to Springfield was a difference for me. And I knew what was going on. I could see, I understood the crops, but it was, I don't know. It's cool to watch the faces of folks as they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Aaron, we cannot thank you enough. We stole you for a long time, and I know you had a meeting this morning, and applaud you on your leadership spots you're in. But you're the same Aaron that I got to see at Eiffel, so that's cool to see you grow. But thank you for being here, and looking forward to a really good auction.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thank you, Aaron, and thank you, listeners. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast and listen to some older episodes, and we'll see you next time on Let's Get Rural.